Hello everyone, this is She-Hulk with an update announcement to make. I'm going to show you a bit of gameplay of my Last Epoch game character, where I'm up to in as far as her level goes. I did say as promised that I was going to work my way up to level 100. And then I would do a series of videos showing you how to get exactly to level 100. Right, as you've just seen, I have reached level 95. I've only got five more levels left to go. This is to show you that I have been working on getting my character up to, well, not to level 100, but just to show you that I am doing what I said I would do in my last announcement. This is proof that I am working towards that end goal of getting to 100. You'll be seeing me do these monoliths and the echoes contained therein. I'm just doing a random monolith. I've done nearly most of them, but there's 3 of the last ones that I can't quite manage to complete. But the others I have completed. Right, I can't share with you a link to this character just yet because I have to reach level 100 before I can share a link to the character build. But what you're looking at is a combination of reflect, damage and ward, what I call a ward and reflect damage build. There are some reflect only builds which you can find here on YouTube. I'm doing a combination because of 2 things. With reflect by itself, whilst it's good, don't get me wrong, like I said, there are builds that way. I'm doing a combination of both because I've worked so long and hard of working towards getting ward, decay threshold boots and whatnot and so forth with my previous failed fire and ice mage build. But this is, I hope, to be different because I'm combining the use of ward and reflect at the same time. I'm wearing this piece of armour, which you will need to get hold of to make this build work. You're going to need one of these. They can be bought at the Merchant Guild at the Bazaar. I was lucky the one that mine came with. I think it had this to start off with, or I added to it, but I can't remember, so please do forgive me for that. But this has all resistances. Now, I've mentioned ward decay threshold rings. You'll be wearing those before you come to wearing these. These are for later gameplay. You'll need this, which gets dropped quite early in the game. The stats of yours will vary, as well as your stats of this piece of armour. You might be looking to get 142 damage reflected to attackers. I do believe it goes up to as high as 400. And you might be lucky enough to even get that. But that's what I got when I bought this. Also, this build will require to wear one of these, which you can also buy at the Bazaar. The stats on yours that you buy will reflect differently to the ones that you see here. I got one of these picked up and I duplicated it to give me 2 rings, hence why they're both at 0. This was dropped by a cage mage with 9% of current health lost per second, with 9% of missing health gained as ward per second. I got these boots dropped, which is not a priority in this build. I'll show you later on another pair of boots that you can wear that have ward decay threshold to them. And this is for later on with the build. But you're going to need a chalice, either with elemental resistance to it, or you re-roll one and add elemental resistance yourself. But for you to be able to do that, you'll need the shards for elemental resistance already as part of your gameplay. Again, I'm doing this video for complete beginners and the casual gamer. This is not for the die-hard gamers out there. So please go and watch something else. This is not for you. Okay. I'm also wearing a combination of ward decay threshold, ward retention with ward decay threshold as well. These have been modified, by the way. I'll show you what an unmodified one will look like. Here I'm wearing these damage reflected idols that can be picked up in the random dungeon encounters that you find in the echoes. I'll show you what I mean in a moment. I think you can pick them up in the cemeteries as well. It's one of those two. I know it's one of those. I do believe it's the dungeons, but just in case I'm wrong, it'll be the cemeteries. you'll either find them in one or the other. There are other ways to get these, but that's farming for them doing Circle of Fortune. But whilst you join that faction, you have to you can only equip those items if you're part of that faction. If you're part of the guild faction, you can't equip those idols. And I spent a lot of time being part of the guild faction and I don't have any real intentions to, with any other characters, join the Circle of Fortune. I mean, in a way, you are paying to get all the items that you get in Circle of Fortune. You have to pay for special specific lenses for the item that you want. Okay, you can farm for as many of the same item as you want, but you are essentially paying for it though. Think about that. Prices for some items in the bazaar do vary, so you have to bear that in mind. But I do have some ward, decay, thresholds, rings and amulets as well as boots currently right now up for sale in my store at the bazaar whilst they are available. So if you want your hands on one of those, you will have to close by them, but I have set the prices at the lowest price available. And ward is my first line defense. My reflect is my second line of defense, and my resistance is my first line of defense. And if anything gets through any of that, well, I can't do anything about that. My character has been killed off a few times when enemy attacks have been too overpowered, and that has happened to me a few times now, which I'll have to report. But I do believe there has been talk about certain enemies in this game being overpowered that are as yet to be addressed by the devs, but if they will address this problem, I do not know. But I'll mention it in the Last Epoch forums that they are overpowered. But I can't guarantee if any action will be taken, so please bear what I'm telling you now in advance into account, please. Right, these are the skills that I'm using. So when I start doing the recording, I will put some of these skills in a different order to what you see here, but they will remain the same skills, and so will the nodes remain exactly the same. And I will show you which nodes to pick and which points to allocate. Total points, I've got some right now. Pardon me. Right, I won't go over what I'm doing right now. When I get to doing the recording of the game series, I'll explain in full detail of what to do, etc. The skills I'm using, or you'll see me using, when I need to use them. Marrow Shards, Death Seal, Wandering Spirits, Aura of Decay, and Bone Curse. I repeat, you'll see me do them in a slightly different order. The only reason why they're in the order that they're at now is because I've been experimenting with different skills, and because of doing that, that's why the skills are in this lineup here. Well, I'll show you some of the skills at play, so it's not me just deflecting. That's Marrow Shards. And I'm only picking up items of a gold value of 45 and above, not less. And I'll show you later why I need plenty of gold. Although the people in the Last Epoch forum will have you believe that gold is not important to the game, which is a load of rubbish. Right. I'll just show you the effect of the Aura of Decay. It's got poison damage, so when I come up to close to an enemy, or they come within any... Sorry, if they come within this area that you can see here, that's circling with mouse pointer, of the Decay Aura, they will get damaged. That was Bone Curse. I'll show you Death Seal, but I only use it really on bosses when I need it. But that's what it looks like. There, you've seen all the skills in use now. And during gameplay you will see me use a combination of these skills. It's not always about just approaching the enemies and watch me reflect damage do the work for me. Deflecting damage will not protect you from elemental strikes. Just to let you know. Right, I'll repeat that. Reflect damage does not protect you against enemy elemental attacks. This is why you're going to need, at the later stages in the game, rings with elemental resistance. And this ring. And a chalice like this with elemental resistances. This weapon is not a requirement for the build. This is just one that got dropped that I'm using. Any single-handed weapon, or wand if you prefer, can be used with this build. Oh no, I correct myself, can't be a wand. Well, it can be, because using my shards scales off with melee damage type attacks, so if you're going to use a wand it must have melee damage to it. If it doesn't, it's going to be useless. Right, now I can pick all these up because I've just faced off against the main objective there. I'll play one more echo and then end the video. Don't need that. Got one of those. Don't need these.
Take care.
Ah, there's the cemeteries. Can't show a procedural dungeon. I'll tell you what, I'll play this and this. Hopefully in there might be a procedural dungeon that I can showcase for you.
Die, human.
Right, it's taking a bit more longer to kill off, so this is why I've got this active. So doing a combination of reflect damage and aura damage. You will come up against enemies that will take longer to die off. I mean, you can wait for the reflect to take place, but if it's taking a long time, you want the enemies to have quicker. The cure is the way to go about it. I'm just taking a look at the map. Two ways to do that, by the way. You can press down on the left stick of the analog controller, and I am using a controller, by the way. And I've got the spells in this order. You can use any order you want, but remember which is for which key binding on you for your controls. Right, as I said, you can press and hold left analog stick, or you can press the tab key on your keyboard to show up the full map. trust that I'm going in the right direction. You usually know where I'm going. Well,
Lucky you.
no correction. I have a feeling for these things of knowing where to go. I don't know how I know where to go. I just... Like I said, I have a feeling for these things. I seem to be able to always head in the right direction. I don't know how I do it.
Die, human. Feast.
Right. Oops. Ah, right.
You're not going anywhere.
You can't touch me.
Lucky you.
You can't run from us. Is that it?
There you go.
Yes?
Oh, some bosses will require one specific elemental resistance, and you'll need to fill up all your idle slots with that. Let's say, yeah, there's one which I can't complete, like I said, one of the echoes, where you fight against what's his name now? He'll come back to me in a moment. But it does a lot of cold damage. Quite high up cold damage. Really high up. And if your resistance is not high enough, each one will have a different amount. I'll show you what I mean in a moment.
Take care.
Herot, that's the name I was trying to remember. Him. I have here, there we go, 20, no, not that, sorry, 20, 17, 23 cold resistance. I need more of these, really, 23 or higher up. So far, wearing all these and even cold resistance gear, etc. Even an amulet with cold resistance is still not enough, because like I said, you have to have your resistance high enough, and I'm not quite that high yet. I think it's about either 600 or 700. No, 600. I'm sure what I mean. Right. Cold resistance, you see the top cap there. I've had that at about just over 600 something percent. And I still got killed off by Heorot's cold attacks. And he's not the only one. When you at the Rift Beast selection and you're picking out what kind of attacks they have, it's ice breath attacks are way too strong. And if you don't get killed off, you could get killed off by its physical attack. And if your physical resistance is not high enough, a Rift Beast will one-shot kill you. So those three enemies are not the most easiest to kill off. And the Rift Beast cold attack is overpowered. There has been a mention that it is overpowered, but from what I can remember of that section in Last Epoch, in the forum, that's it. In that particular forum, someone said that problem had been fixed. It has not. I can assure you of that. So having either ward or even reflect will not protect you.
Yes?
This is why you need other strategies in play to survive. But this build so far is working. The proof of the pudding of that, as the saying goes, in whichever, is that I've got this far and I'm only 5 levels away from level 100. I honestly can't see myself having or experiencing any difficulties beyond what I've already said that I can't do. I haven't got to the point of being able to do corruption yet. I don't think I'll be able to do that part, but at least I'll be able to get up to the highest level, which is the important part of this game. I haven't gone up against Aberoth or Uber Aberoth, and I doubt I'll be able to even go up against either Aberoths in this game, but at least we'll have achieved of being able to get to level 100. I'll be able to safely say I've done that. Does look like there's not going to be a procedural dungeon on this in this area. I do apologise, wanted to show you that, but you'll get it, sorry. I get excited and speak too fast. Right, gotta slow down. You'll see a procedural dungeon in action being played when I do the gameplay series, because I have decided to include doing the Monoliths and the Echoes to show you exactly how to get to level 100, which no YouTuber, as far as I know and am aware of, has done that, done gameplay showing you exactly how to reach that level. You'll see people showing you bits of game of they're achieving level 100 and them doing corruption, but nobody else has shown anyone how to get to level 100. So that's the reason why I intend to do a video series doing exactly that. But it's going to be a lot of videos because, trust me, getting to level even 95 this stage takes an awful lot of time. In fact, a little bit too long for my liking. The experience goes up not as quickly as I'd like it to. I'm going to mention that in one of the forums at the Last Epoch community site. I'll probably either get laughed at or told that I'm talking silly, or both. Now, for the die-hard gamers out there, you might have a different opinion to me of that the experience bar takes way too long to go up. You probably don't want it to be too fast. I don't want it to be to get to level 100 too fast, but I don't want it being too slow either. And I feel that it is, for my personal take on it, and I can only give you that, it does take a little bit too long. I've been working on this acolyte now for a good long time.
Die, human.
What's taken me most longest on this game has been trying to get the Fire and Ice Mage build right. But now I've got this reflect thing going on, which I only developed quite some time ago, by the way. So originally I wasn't going down that route for reflect. It had been on my mind to try it out, but up until that point I was just going with Chaos Bolts and the Aura of Decay builds that I had before I changed the build entirely. So before I got to doing this particular build, prior to that there's been a lot of changes that I've made in with the skills. Like I said, the reason why the skills are placed where they are here in this particular order is because I've had a different skill here, different skill there, etc. Ah, there we go. I was waiting for their objective. A cocooned item to drop. Which is a unique sword. Which I don't need. Oh yeah. And the reason why I'm wearing elemental rings is because I can't get hold of red rings, which gives you all resistances. Elemental resistance rings give you most of some of the resistances, but not all of them. That's the difference between all resistance rings and elemental resistance rings, by the way. I repeat, the differences between all resistance rings and elemental rings is that elemental rings only give you resistances to some of the elements, but not all of them. And I'll show you, and this will be going from the lowest price upward, how much the red rings really cost you.
Yes.
Right. Time to pay a visit to Bazaar.
These will keep you moving.
Ring.
Moonstone of Jeweled. Who?
Red ring. Search. Gold's low to high. So this list here of all of them are the lowest going to the highest all the way down the page. And the first three available, look at how much they go for, where it shows you. There in red. That's how much gold I've got. So you can see where it's indicated in red, where you can see it there. I am a long way from those kind of figures. And that's at the lowest price. So to the person, if they ever watched this, in the Last Epoch community web page on the forum, that told me in one of their comments about gold not being important, you're a complete utter liar. It is important. Buying any stuff from the bazaar comes at a cost. Some things you can get with, by the way, special tokens, and that you don't have to pay a thing for it. It'll cost you $0. But other times you do have to pay actual gold for certain items. Now I don't know if these red rings do and can get dropped in the Circle of Fortune. I'm gonna at some point see if that is the case, and I will let you know when I get around to doing that. And hopefully, if they do get dropped, and you have to buy a Pacific lens, that getting all that Pacific lens to get these rings don't cost you just as nearly as much as it would cost you to get the ring from the bazaar itself. Sorry, I'm speeding up again. Right, I'll try not to do that when I'm doing my recordings. Right, as I was saying, if you go to the Circle of Fortune to farm for the red rings, if you can farm for them, the cost for the special lens better not be as expensive as the rings are themselves. Okay. Right, so you've had a sneak peek of what this build can do, and this is... Sorry, you've had a sneak peek look at what this current level of character can do. So you're now seeing proof that I'm working towards getting this character to level 100. As you can see here, level 95. Just to make it more clear, there you go, 95. And I've only just made a bit of a start of this XP bar going up, but it goes up real slow, hence why it has taken me such a long time to get this character to this level. So it's going to be a while yet before you get to see video gameplay of how to do this character, but as promised, and I'll make the promise again, the wait will be worth it, trust me. Thank you for being patient with me so far if you've been following me here on YouTube with my videos. And I want to apologise one more time for having to delete the Fire and Ice Mage videos that had been available on my YouTube channel but no longer are, because that wasn't working out for me. But I believe I can make the Fire and Ice Mage work now with two things going for me. An item that's got mana regeneration, which helps with the mana regen of using Flame Reave, but with the Reflect I won't have to use Flame Reave as much, so I'll have to use it sometimes, but it will still require some amount of mana management if I end up doing that build, which I will give it one more last try at doing now that I've got a way to do to make that possible. Right, well, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, but you don't have to, you don't want to do so. And I'll hopefully see you again once I reach level 100. Thank you. Bye. This is She-Hawk signing off.